have some things I'd love to show you.
If you recall, Will, our last collaboration ended rather messily. How is young Josh and the lovely Molly?
I'm a friend of your father's. I am the dragon.
Give me what I need.
For me, you tremble.
Spoiler warning. Red Dragon ending isn't just shocking, it's a lie. Buckle up because this breakdown will rewrite everything you thought you knew. The film begins in the year 1980, where Dr. Hannibal Lecter is attending a musical performance. Later, he hosts a dinner party for the performer, where a guest compliments his cooking. When asked about his secret recipe, Lecter simply replies that if he tells, they wouldn't eat it. After the party, FBI agent Will Graham visits Lecter. A brilliant investigator, Graham is collaborating with Lecter on a case involving a serial killer who removes and possibly consumes his victims' body parts. Graham suggests the killer might be a cannibal. Lecter calmly says they'll discuss it after dinner. But when Lecter steps away, Graham discovers a disturbing cookbook detailing the preparation of human flesh. Realizing Lecter himself is the killer, Graham is attacked and stabbed. He fires back in self-defense, leaving Lecter unconscious and finally captured. News spreads quickly. Will Graham has brought down the infamous Hannibal Lecter. Years later, we see Graham living in quiet retirement when Jack Crawford, an FBI agent, approaches him. A new serial killer has emerged, dubbed the Tooth Fairy, known for brutally murdering families and leaving bite marks with sharp teeth. He even removes the victim's eyes. Jack pleads with Graham to come back and help catch the Tooth Fairy, knowing only he has the skills to do so. Graham agrees, assuring his wife it's only temporary. Investigating the first crime scene, Graham notices all the mirrors are shattered, concluding the killer must hate his reflection. The blood on the bed shows Mr. Leeds' throat was slit and Mrs. Leeds was shot. The children were killed too, dragged into their parents' room, and small shards of mirrors were placed in their eyes. An autopsy reveals powder on Mrs. Leeds' thighs, evidence of the killer touching her, leading to another autopsy, where a fingerprint is discovered inside her eye. Graham confronts a reporter named Lance, who previously smeared him in the Lecter case, warning him to stay out of it. Graham soon realizes he needs Lecter's help again and visits him in prison. Lecter knows exactly why he's there and mocks him before agreeing to think it over. An hour later, Lecter tells Graham that the killer likely sees himself as a puppet of women and kills during full moons, which he finds beautiful and powerful. Graham leaves and Lance photographs him, publishing a headline that Graham is once again working with Lecter. Returning to the crime scene, Graham finds a family videotape, then visits another victim's home, the Jacobys. Outside their house, he discovers a strange mark on a tree. Meanwhile, the identity of the Tooth Fairy is revealed. His real name is Francis Dollarhyde. He lives in a grand house, wears a mask, and keeps a diary titled Red Dragon, detailing his life and murders. Flashbacks show he was tormented by his grandmother over his appearance, which led to multiple plastic surgeries. Upon learning that Graham is involved in the investigation, he becomes anxious. Graham shows the mysterious tree mark to Lecter, who cryptically responds that people who don't understand the world are often used. He adds that the killer is evolving, hoping to become the mythical Red Dragon by killing. Meanwhile, Lecter uses a fake identity to call the psychiatric department and acquire Graham's home address. Dollarhyde works at a photo lab, where he meets Reba, a kind blind woman. She invites him for coffee, and though hesitant, he slowly falls in love with her. He begins to change for her. Back in Lecter's cell, a toilet paper-wrapped letter reveals that Lecter and the Tooth Fairy are secretly communicating in coded messages. The FBI decodes one message and realizes Lecter has sent Graham's address to Dollarhyde. They immediately rush to protect Graham's family and relocate them to a safe house. The FBI arrests Lance, and Graham strikes a deal. If he publishes a false story mocking the Tooth Fairy, he'll be released. Lance complies, enraging Dollarhyde, who kidnaps him, shows him the red dragon tattoo on his back, and eventually kills him, biting him and burning his body in a wheelchair. Lance's recorded statement, full of forced praise for the red dragon, is sent to the FBI. Graham visits Lecter again and asks how to find the killer. Lecter hints that the answer was already given. He also demands gourmet food and music in exchange for further clues. Francis, now deeply in love with Reba, tries to suppress his killer instincts. He even considers suicide to protect her. In a symbolic act, he eats a painting of the Red Dragon in a museum, hoping to destroy the monster inside him. Graham uncovers a lead. The home videos of both murdered families came from the same photo studio. From there, he discovers Francis Dollarhyde's identity and address and prepares to raid his house. But Dollarhyde has seen Graham and visits Reba, who is talking with a male friend. In a jealous rage, he stabs the man and knocks Reba unconscious. Dollarhyde pours gasoline around his house and prepares to set it on fire. He tells Reba he still loves her and fires his gun. Reba, frightened, finds Dollarhyde's lifeless body and escapes as the house explodes. When the FBI arrives, she tells them Dollarhyde is dead. But later, forensic analysis reveals the burned remains were not his. Crawford calls Graham to warn him, and as Graham searches the house, he finds signs of intrusion. He soon discovers Dollarhyde holding his son, Josh, hostage. Instead of panicking, Graham tries to connect with Dollarhyde by scolding Josh the way Dollarhyde was once abused, triggering memories of his painful childhood. Dollarhyde releases Josh and attacks Graham. They fight, and Graham manages to protect his son. Molly enters the scene just as Dollarhyde threatens her with a gun. Graham yells at her to duck, and both men get injured in the shootout. Graham passes the gun to Molly, urging her to finish it. She shoots Dollarhyde in the head, finally ending his reign of terror. Afterward, Graham retires from the FBI permanently to live peacefully with his family. One day, he receives a letter from Lecter, who reminds him never to forget him, suggesting that he orchestrated everything to get revenge by endangering Graham's family. Realizing this cruel manipulation, Graham tears the letter apart and throws it away. The film ends. The final scenes of Red Dragon lead us to believe that Francis Dollarhyde, the terrifying Tooth Fairy, dies in a fiery blast, ending his bloody rampage. But forensic evidence later reveals a chilling twist. The burned body isn't his. He fakes his death, infiltrates Graham's home, and nearly kills his family. This changes everything we thought we knew. The real ending exposes how Dollarhyde outsmarted everyone, how Lecter manipulated the entire game from his cell, and how Graham was just a pawn in a much darker plan. It's not just a twist. It's a total rewrite of the hero's victory. Think you could survive the Red Dragon world? Tag a friend who'd fail miserably. Don't forget to subscribe, unless you're scared of the truth. Our next video reveals the lie the director tried to bury.